Hello, everybody.
Oh shit, it's
Hello.
that time.
Welcome to the Sound Corner podcast. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by my co-host Michael and our lovely producer Blake. Say hi, guys.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
How's everyone doing today?
We're vibing.
It is.
I'm getting drunk to forget the workday, so we're vibing.
Yes, the American way.
Alright.
This is what capitalism has led us to.
What are we drinking? Because I think I got a bevy, courtesy of Michael.
We're drinking a bevy, but we also got a Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Very
I
nice.
just put like my sixth Stella, and I've got a nice Mountain Dew Hard Baja Blast because I'm a degenerate and I hate my life.
What was the consensus on the hard Mountain Dews?
Personally, I love the Baja Blast, and the watermelon is just a watermelon Jolly Rancher, and then the OG Mountain Dew is pretty good, but I don't like regular Mountain Dew anyway. My camera's unfocusing, so that's cool.
You're good.
And then the Black Cherry was garbage. Don't
I
like it.
was talking about this at work today with our beer manager. I dig it, but I think the like artificial sweetener aftertaste has kind of like killed it for me.
It is
Yeah,
just
I can
zero
definitely agree with
sugar
that.
Mountain Dew.
I mean, but for what it is, like they really nailed it. Like the Baja tastes like the zero sugar Baja that you would buy right off the shelf. So I mean, that's
Yup.
cool.
I am not a fan of watermelon, like artificial watermelon at all, or black cherry. For the most part, black cherry, my alcohol I don't like, so I skipped on both of those. But the Baja Blast was pretty good. It was kind of
Yeah.
like it was like drinking blueberry vape juice, which is essentially what Baja is.
How are you feeling about the bevy long drink?
Bevy is good. The flavor is pretty strong. Not like not like the alcohol content is strong, but it's like a different kind of sweet, but it's fine.
I don't know. I mean, they're a little bit stronger than like your regular run of the mill like seltzers or beer or whatever you were drinking.
I like discussing our fruity seltzer refresher because today is Sound Corner Summer. We've had a change of plans. Peachy had some stuff going on, which is totally cool. So we're gonna discuss the world of music in the summer and more tonight. We're just
I
gonna
wanna
hang out.
I want to take a look at okay, Death just said he made a Baja Blast mead cocktail. I need to know what that is right the fuck now. Because
Yeah.
I need
So
it.
he's a big fan of mead. So that
Yeah,
doesn't
mead
surprise me. But yeah,
mead
we
is
love mead.
mead is fire. I
Uh,
need to know the details.
yeah, Mountain Dews make great cocktails. Apparently, I would never think to mix them just because like it's Mountain Dew with alcohol in it. Like every time I would mix Mountain Dew with anything, it never came out very good. So, but
Yeah, I'm here or there. My buddy had the idea because they're actually coming out with like that Mountain Dew energy that they do, which is kind of like okay. They're coming out with a Baja Blast one, and my buddy Dakota was
It's
like, "Yeah, just throw that in the alcoholic Mountain Dew in a cup and stir it around, add some vodka, and call it a day." And I'm just kind of like,
it's out already, and I've been meaning to try it.
"Oh, is it? I definitely look for it."
It's at I know it's at like the market at Walmart's, but also we are lost 54. Our wonderful friend Mike from Murkov said that he noticed a lack of PBRs tonight. But if I remember correctly, I think there was actually a shortage of PBRs in the area right now due to Murkov. At least that's what I heard. I work in an alcohol store, and they said no PBRs because Murkov bought all of them.
Was that in the-
local
Yeah.
supply.
that in the meeting
Mike,
this
it's
morning?
your own undoing, man.
That was
Y'all
actually
drinking it all.
that was in our huddle this morning. It was like top of like the priority list.
Tell customers that there's no PBR in the area because Murkov has drinking all the beer.
I actually just printed a little tag and threw it on the shelf that said no PBR. You can thank Murkov.
Well, we did have the advertisement for the charity run for all the
The
PBR.
charity run.
Yeah, I guess.
Did we?
Yo,
I wonder
Death
if
Raptor,
PBR.
this sounds fire.
I
This
wonder
sounds
if PBR
absolutely
sales like
gas.
PBR sales like doubled overnight because of that. I'm sure.
I use Viking Blood Hibiscus Mead, splash of grenadine, ounce of lemon juice, shaken in a mixer over crushed ice. Strain that into a glass over ice and top off with the Baja Blast, lemon twist garnish. We got ourselves a bartender in the chat.
Yeah,
Yo.
So when are you coming back over to the apartment again?
Yeah.
Yo, for real, Dev, you gotta bring that over.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds amazing.
We'll have a hangout night.
We Are Lost says he currently has 4 PBRs. So, well, it is Murkov.
It is Murkov.
He's really draining the area. But so speaking of summer, there's something I wanted to talk about from the start. 2 days ago, I believe. What's today? Wednesday. So I think Monday was the 21st anniversary of Blink-182's "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket," and that's like an iconic summer pop punk record and an iconic play on words. And I think it's pretty important that we shout it out.
There was an interview with Tom DeLonge recently where he said that there's still a lot of people that don't get the joke of that album. And I mean, I'll admit it took me a while to get it, longer than I would like to admit. But then once it hit me, it was like, how did I not ever get that? I mean, not all of Blink's albums, but like the early Blink albums are all like that. Like Dude Ranch, obviously.
That one took me a while, actually.
That one took me a little bit too, but so yeah, no, but yeah, it's the anniversary of "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket."
It was the first pop punk record to hit #1 on the top 100 Billboard way back in 2001.
Which is wild to me. I don't know if this is a hot take. I think that's honestly lower on my list of like, if you were to rank all the Blink albums, I think that one's lower down for me.
It is for me as well, but it's still, I think it's top 3. So
Can y'all hate me for a second?
Yeah. Already.
I've listened to a whole Blink album in its entirety at least once.
All right.
This is Blake's revenge for the yellow card statement earlier.
Okay, no. So Blake is kind of he's a sad boy, right? Chat, can we agree that Blake is a kind of a sad boy? So
Don't attack me like that.
I think you would really enjoy Blink-182's self-titled record. Look past.
Yes.
I mean, I Miss You is like
the one I've heard the most of.
Yeah,
that's a solid album. That's my favorite Blink album.
It's very raw.
As a sad boy,
emotional.
I can relate.
I mean, I think Enema is my favorite Blink album because all the
hey, what's up, Poggy?
Small things. Hey, Poppy Mango.
Growing up, I listened to I mentioned this in our group chat earlier because of the Burnout 3 takedown. Like, I really got into Yellow Card and then the early Fall Out Boy stuff because back when Fall Out Boy was good, they were good. But
their first album,
strange.
Take This to the Grave, is actually it rips.
Banger.
Super
Front to
banger.
back.
Yes.
Amazing album.
And then thanks for like the whole era of like Sugar We're Going Down and Thanks to the Memories. That's them selling out. Like forget
Infinity on High and From Under the Cork Tree were still phenomenal.
Really good. But it's kind of like how people say when Blink came out with All the Small Things, that was them selling out.
That's all right. So Enema of the State is not that album for me. Like I get it. I get All the Small Things as that song. That's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket for me. Like that's Blink selling out basically at that point. And I think that's why I don't vibe with that album very much. It's still great. Like it's got a lot of their biggest hits on it, but it doesn't feel like Enema of the State, and it doesn't feel like the self-titled album.
I think it was from the second that they stopped doing like skater punk, like really fast, like circle pit songs for 15 tracks. When they stopped doing that, the fans were mad. So when they started having more substance to their music, everyone got really mad.
When they stopped singing songs about sex toys.
Yeah, which but I think if you said you don't vibe with Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which is an innuendo for masturbation, everybody. Let's just get it. Let's get it out of there.
Let me rephrase that. I like the album. I just don't like it as much as their other albums.
Have you listened to like Story of a Lonely Guy and everything?
Yeah, I'm a sad boy. Of course I do.
Roller Coaster is actually one of Mark's best songs, I think.
I think so. I can agree with that. Also, Online Songs is one of his best songs.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like you have to go back and re-listen and you're like, oh shit, that one actually really smacks.
Yeah, well, the good songs on that album are they're all the songs that weren't like the big singles off that album. I mean, like those songs are good too, but like I've heard The Rock Show played into oblivion, and I've heard First Date played into oblivion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Not a big fan anymore.
Yeah,
but also, what is it? Every Time I Look for You.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's a real good song. That was in what? American Pie? One of the
American Pie
American Pie
2.
Yep.
movies. Yeah.
So, but it's like, so if you listen to Fall Out Boy and you get to Infinity on High, that is like their take off your pants and jacket compared to like their really early shit when they were just like, what the fuck's his name? What's the vocalist's name? I know Pete
What the
Wentz.
fuck's his name? Who?
What's his
Oh,
name?
Patrick Stump?
Patrick Stump's voice is
Yeah.
is very poppy, but like the first album, Take Us to
Am
the
I
Grave.
more than you bargained for you?
Yeah.
Like
Reinventing
sorry.
the wheel to run myself over was like my middle school like fucking jam.
Yeah.
That and oh my god, Right Side of the Bed by
Mm.
Atreyu was like
Oh,
the
I
shit
remember.
that I listened to on the bus, and I'm just like,
Dude, yo, I also listened to Atreyu on the bus. I don't know. I don't know why that's like a thing for me. I remember listening to The Theft on the bus because one of my friends showed me. He's like, "Yo, listen to this band." And Atreyu was really fucking cool at the time, and now like nobody knows who they are.
they were really good for like 3 albums, and they kind of went like,
Oh.
yeah, they had some bangers, but
for like 3
I
hours.
feel like the one band that I feel like they were really good for like 2 albums and then started fucking sucking was Jimmy Eat World.
Ooh, who's a big Jimmy Eat World fan? Rooster is.
Yeah, Rooster's a
Yeah.
fucking. I love Bleed American and Futures. Incredible, absolutely. Pain, Just Tonight, the entire Bleed American album, wonderful. I don't
Yeah.
listen to a single fucking thing after that. I'm
Bleed
just kinda like,
America's all I know. That's the only record from them I'll listen to.
Futures. Was actually my introduction to the band just because, uh, Just Tonight was on Burnout 3 when I was like 10 years old. That's what I was
Mhm.
playing, and then Pain was on I think Midnight Club 3, the remix version, and I heard that and I was like, yes, that right there, along with like weird obscure rap songs like Manny Fresh and Like a 24.
I
Very
think-
strange mix of music that I listened to in 6th grade.
Is it me or did sports game soundtracks really influence a lot of us?
I was-
That's like
I was about to say we need an episode of like video game like soundtracks, like
oh, we could
specifically like
definitely. I
yeah,
could
like
crack open that real good.
like
Yeah.
the Burnout games, like the Midnight Club games, all the EA games. Dude, the EA games, one of the hockey games or soccer games had the Mars Volta on it. I mean,
I remember
come on.
that. There was an
There was this obscure new metal band on, I think 2K. I want to say 2K4 or 6. It was that early. It wasn't 2K5 because I got 2K5 in my drawer. Wait by a band called Earshot, which is like an underground new metal banger, and I came across it the other day and I was like, I forgot how much this band slaps. But that's it. That was their exposure. That was it.
I
Somebody
wonder.
at EA
Yeah.
was like, some high up exec was like, "Yo, like this is what the kids who play the 2K games are gonna love."
Kids love this shit. There was a we had
Run,
a,
Exactly.
and then they were like, "Run, like fucking just the most obscure like metal or punk band that you can think of." Oh, also we could talk about all the old like Tony Hawk games, like American Wasteland and all that stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
they're
we
really
could dive
good.
into that shit on that could take up a whole cast in itself.
They're gonna be a few months down the road. We're gonna actually do this episode, and then people in the chat will be like, "I remember this. I remember this was gonna happen."
I was there
I
when
was
it
there for
happened.
it. I was
When
there.
Michael did his really bad Patrick Stump impersonation because he drank 2 beers.
He drank 2 beers and he started spitting.
Should we tell the OGs what we're planning for August?
I was just about to segue into that. Okay, roll call in chat. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we were talking about how it's going to be the Sound Corner season this summer, right? Well, this whole time we were kind of working on something, and I think tonight we're going to announce it, and then, because you guys hang out, you sit around with us, you listen to it, and so you get a little sneak preview, and then tomorrow it's the official announcement for it. But so August, we are throwing a show. I said we're going out in the field. Florida peeps, we're gonna be in Brandon with this pretty heavy show. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen right now. I'm gonna vomit on the screen. Where is it? Here. Just tell us what you think of the lineup. So we're gonna be having the boys from In Gloom.
The
Reppin'.
boys,
The
God
boys.
the animal.
In Gloom, we got Regions coming all the way from North Carolina, and they haven't been in Florida in about 5
Regions
years.
was one of the few bands that I listened to, like I got into back in like 2014 when I was going to shows in like Fort Myers and shit like that. And I haven't seen them boys in like 20. I was out with Jesse up in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come down to Tampa?" And so we're gonna bring them asses back to Tampa because that shit's gonna pop.
We got the local deathcore band. That's right, I said deathcore. From our area. Port Charlotte, Northport, Sarasota. We got Murder Afloat. We've had them on the podcast. They're fucking amazing. I can't wait to see them in person for the first time. Brittany was so awesome to come onto the podcast. And then we got Tampa hardcore reps, Head High. And we've known them for a while. We've seen them in the scene. They're fucking amazing too. And then we got, this is a newcomer for me. I've never seen them play. We got Malice Strikes, and they bring the vibes.
Malice is mad fun live. That's just gonna be great.
And so yeah, this is gonna be the first Sound Corner promoted show. I haven't promoted a show in about 3 or 4 years.
Chris, it's been almost 5. 2017 was that Nice Guy show.
That was last year. 2017 was last year.
Sorry, we don't count the pandemic years.
Yeah, that was a standstill. But if you're wondering when this is gonna be, I cropped out the date and do not remember.
It's August 6th. It's a Saturday. So there's no excuses. I want to hear, I gotta work. It's a Saturday, motherfucker. Show the fucking.
Unless you work retail.
That's me. I work retail.
Let's
talk
too.
about how sick that fucking poster is, though.
Yeah, let's go back to it really quick. Yeah, 80s cheesy horror. So good.
We love it.
Good job, Blake.
Hang on a second. Ogre.
Oh, but let me cover some details real quick. You can purchase a ticket in advance from one of the band members for $10, and then you get your name on the will call. But you can also buy the day of for $15. So take advantage, hit up the bands, and get your $5 discount. And then come hang out with the Sound Corner, working the door the entire time.
Standing outside with our arms crossed the entire time.
I'm going to be wearing shades and everything.
Are you going to have a shirt that says bouncer? We're going to be doing it all.
Yeah,
we're gonna be the bouncer. We're gonna be working the door.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come hang out with us.
That's absolutely going ape shit on everybody because I can.
And then Woods be like, "That's
the
Blake
one man
from the Sound
war
Corner."
machine.
I'm just gonna be hurting people wearing a Sound Corner shirt. They'll be like, "Why is the promoter doing this?" And I'm gonna do it because it's fun.
Oh, we need Sound Corner shirts. Who would wear a Sound Corner shirt around here? Anybody?
There's gonna be a corny ad of like somebody in the hospital, like Blake from the Sound Corner sent me to the ER.
Oh, they're amazing.
Who is Toki? I want to know.
That is Garcia, Nick Garcia.
That is Garcia. I love that man.
I feel weird just shouting your name. This is gonna be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and I just like, that's Nick Garcia.
He'll be fine.
He'll be all right. But the official announcement for the show will be tomorrow around noon.
Sometime around there, yeah. I'm gonna be making everything finalized tonight, so everyone's good to go. I told everyone midday, afternoon tomorrow. You see it on Facebook, post it.
It's gonna be off the heeze, as the 2006 deathcore kids say.
I would also like to give everyone this warning: is that we're sticking in gloom in a 12 by 13 classroom. So I'm saying this as someone who has learned his lesson. Bring earplugs because Colin personally told me he's going to be turning up the 808 bass drops for Hole in the Wall. So
did I not mention this was in the Hole in the Wall? Because I feel like I didn't.
You didn't know. This isn't Hole in the Wall Noise Box. So this is going to be a 12 by 13 classroom show. This isn't in the big room. No, this is in the tiny room. We're going to have fun.
Where people are going to get hurt. You can't stand in the back and cross your arms. There's no shot.
Yeah, no.
Shout out in the hallway.
Shout out to the Hole in the Wall.
I still don't guarantee your safety during regions.
The Hole in the Wall is going to be you.
There is no hiding. Last time I went to a show at the Hole in the Wall, I literally got punched in the face.
It will happen to you.
What are you going to do when the Sound Corner comes for you?
I really want to do shirts now. Maybe just specific. Like, you guys think about pocket logos. Let's start with pocket logos.
Nah, baby. Pocket logos are like 2012, bro. I ain't about that shit.
Yeah,
give me a chest print or give me death.
Chest print it is. Yeah, we're gonna have to rep it at the show, and everyone will be like, "Look at these fucking losers." No one listens to you guys.
Hey, bro, I'll make it a crop top. I'll rock that. Let's go, baby.
Yo,
That I
if
can
you
get
make
behind.
a crop top, I will also wear a crop top.
Let's go. We're doing it.
All right.
Which means Chris also has to wear a crop top.
I'm in. Let's do it. The chat's kind of
So,
on board with
come-
it, so
Come see us wearing crop tops at the Noise Box for the show.
and maybe expect some pre-orders for some Sound Corner shirts. Let's see how the reception goes.
I will also say this on stream. It won't translate to Spotify, right? But I'll say this right now. If we get 50 heads paid at this show, Jesse from Regents has agreed to let me use one of his Crocs to funnel beer through. I will slam a beer through that man's Crocs. If we get 50 heads,
Let's make it happen, guys.
we gonna do it.
I think you're gonna have to
That
slam
and us
through.
in crop tops, I honestly couldn't ask for anything else.
You're gonna have to slam a shot through the croc top or crop top Crocs. But yeah,
Fine with it, baby.
that was our announcement, and we're gonna we could honestly shut it down right here, but we're not gonna do that. We're partying. It's the summer. It's the Sound Corner summer, and I don't know about you guys, but I always associate really good music with the summer. We're in Florida, and it's really fucking hot all the time. But the only thing that gets you through the summer is like a really good like record, or just something that vibes really hard. So
That's yeah, no, it's been ridiculous here the last few days. It's been one of those weeks where it's like, how do the old people not believe in global warming yet?
It's horrible. It's not even. It's June. This is like the calm month for us, and it was 104-degree heat index today. And I live in the South.
yeah, he's like extreme south. We got in our car. We got in my car to go run some errands, get groceries, and by the time we got back to the apartment, my AC was like, "All right, we're at a good temperature now." I had to had the like windows rolled down to let all the hot air in and out. It was fucking garbage, dude. I hate Florida.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible like anywhere in the South. My parents live in Tennessee, and I think I texted my dad that day, and I was like, yeah, we're at 104 heat index. And he's like, man, we at the same right now. It was 103. And I'm like, there's no winning here.
The Earth is melting,
The
folks.
Earth is melting.
This is just a TED Talk now.
We're literally, yeah. We're literally
It's
experiencing
a
the
global
apocalypse.
warming TED Talk. Prepare for
The
science.
temperature is going up. The gas prices are going up. It's the end times. I have put nothing but $15 max in my tank every week.
All right, we can do this, but you got to talk like Vice President Al Gore the entire time that you do it.
Man Bear Pig? Was that
Yeah.
him? That was him,
Yeah, that was him.
Oh.
I'm cereal, guys.
Super ethereal.
Guys, the temperature of the Earth is going up. I'm super serial,
I'm
guys.
super ethereal about this.
It's a very inconvenient truth. I don't know what that impersonation is, but it was worth a shot.
It's a politician. I'll take general politician.
Any politician, any like mid-level, like maybe like a senator, somebody who's like cheating on his wife for sure.
Very mid.
Very mid
Super
for sure.
mid. But
Man, they should not let us drink on when we do these episodes.
who is we?
Wait, who's
Blake
they?
is
There's
our,
no they.
Blake is
There's
our
no they. It's
producer.
just us.
The crew
I know.
is
Yeah,
Blake.
our producer's like, you better fucking drink that.
Can you do Richard Nixon
Hey,
from
man,
Futurama?
I'm just helping curate the ideas. I don't control what goes on here.
My favorite thing one of my favorite podcasts is from one of my favorite celebrities, Conan O'Brien, and one of my favorite shitty lame bits he does is he'll impersonate Richard Nixon doing just like regular stuff on his podcast. And Conan is a huge history buff. I wish he would just do like a history podcast, like a comedy history podcast. I would love that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I can't. Can I do a Richard Nixon? I kind of.
I think that was pretty good.
That was.
Hit us with a I am not a crook.
I
All
am not a
remember,
crook.
Like, Richard Nixon is just, you gotta enjoy the
not a
great
crook.
taste of Charleston Chew, bro.
I am not a crook. I needed like that really big nose, like huge.
You gotta like, yeah,
nose,
you gotta slick your hair back.
and be.
You gotta
old
look
and-
just generally sleazy.
as Richard Nixon, and be if we're doing the Futurama Richard Nixon, be but just my head in a glass container.
I would love
No.
to cosplay as that, but I'll actually like cut my entire head off.
I'll
for good
actually,
measure.
I'll
do it. I'll decapitate myself.
I'll
I
actually-
swear
We'll
to
just do a
God.
cast of all of us on the same couch, and it's just our heads and up.
That'd be a good shirt idea right there. We have someone in chat writing these down for us.
Someone write this shit down because I am not gonna remember any of this.
But so summer really sucks. The only thing that gets you through summer sometimes is some music. Like I cheesily segued us into this. What's your favorite thing to listen to during the summer? I'll start really quick. State Champs and Neck Deep, as cheesy as they are at this point, I just think they're like the perfect shit for summer. Like they're the good part of their discography, not when they sold out, and became pop rock.
I'm gonna be super fucking boomer here and go with the obvious choice, which is the Beach Boys.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good.
It depends on the day for me because I work a very outside focused job. So like
It's all summer for you every day.
it's every day is eternal hell in the sunlight for now, for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm done with that shit for the rest of my life.
Yes, sir.
But like, especially when I'm out, like when I go out at night or whatever, like outside of my usual breed of like heavy music, I will credit Michael with this. The past like 2.5, 3 weeks, I have been jamming Market in the Nuclear So and So's, and that is fire.
Oh no, there's
Hey,
two of them
we
now.
love Margot.
There's
For
two of
anybody
them.
who doesn't remember, for any of the OGs who have been with us from the beginning, you'll remember that I am obsessed with Margot and the Nuclear So and So's. And in our very first podcast, I went on a big rant about the lead singer, one of the lead singer's album, or like one of his solo albums. And he actually retweeted what we had posted and posted some of it on his Instagram. And that was like, my heart just couldn't contain itself. So the goal at this point is to hopefully get him on the podcast one day. And you'll just see me like fangirling in my little camera the entire time.
Mike's just gonna be like the
Yeah.
entire time.
Back when we were
I'll
the
probably
Sound
just-
Corner Cafe. Oh yeah, I
I'll
remember
just
that.
throw up, I'm pretty sure.
Throw up, scream, cry, throw up, all that. It's a Childish
Yeah.
Gambino summer. Hell yeah, I love that.
That's a good call for sure. Especially what is that
Absolutely.
one EP?
Kawaii, Kawaii. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that one. That's got
Kaui or whatever. Yeah,
it's got big summer vibes.
yeah, super summer. The Picnic remix of 3005 is amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So
Also, I mean, just Gambino's got a very, I think, like summer vibe just in general. He was in some movie on HBO, I think, with Rihanna not too long ago, and there were a couple songs in it that were really like summer oriented. So, yeah,
You
I
have
feel
to
it.
call me a fucking butt rock for this one, but relentlessly, if you pass by me in traffic during the summer, there is a very high chance that I am listening to anything off of The Sound of Madness by Shinedown.
Hey, that's we
You know
love
what?
that.
I think,
That's like
what's
hood rock right there, baby.
what's the one song, "The Crow and the Butterfly"? We fucking love that song.
I
It
think
was great.
Butt Rock has a-
Devour, Sound, Cyanide, Sweet Tooth, like that whole album just fucking rips, and I don't even give a shit.
Butt
We
Rock
all-
has a great place in summer. To be honest,
Well,
Absolutely.
here's
It's a
the
good
thing
vibe.
about Butt Rock. We all make fun of Butt Rock. Like, literally everybody makes fun of Butt Rock, but those are the most popular bands on the planet. Like, everybody is listening to those bands.
we make fun of it, but we all like it secretly.
Yeah, we're like, fuck that band. And then we're like, oh shit, Nickelback's kind of cool.
They kind of fuck.
Yeah, they kind of fuck. Like, Nickelback's kind of metal, all right? I fucking said it, all right?
Disturbed
There
has
is
some
one
good
band-
songs too.
They're writing heavier shit than a lot of, like, some of the old, like, metalcore bands are now.
Yeah,
There's been this band I've listened to. I heard them on the radio back in high school. Back when we used to have a semi decent rock station here, and then they sold it to be like our fourth country station. But back in high school, I heard this song by a band called Hail the Villain. They were some just Canadian band. They were huge for like 2 years. They released one album called Population Declining, and to this day, it is still one of my favorite like 2000s to like 2010 rock albums. Front to back, it is wonderful. They've got like some like slower, like almost alt rock songs, but like 90% of it is just like ripping that classic like mid 2000s hard rock sound like Getting Away with Murder, Sound of Madness, the early Disturbed albums, which were actually kind of good.
yeah, they were.
You know, Hail the
Amen.
Villain fucking rips. You'll hear me ripping Pyro all day long. Like,
I'll have to check it out.
wonderful, man.
This makes me think that one day we're gonna do a podcast about like quote unquote like guilty pleasures
I could do
or
that.
like
I could do
things
this.
that nobody wants to admit that they listen to, but everybody listens to. I'll say it right now. This has always been my well, maybe not always, but my stance is there is no such thing as a guilty pleasure in music. If you like it, you fucking like it.
My brother in
Like
Christ, you listen to it all the time.
I'm gonna, like, that's me. Like, you'll pull it to me at like 1:30 a.m. on the street coming back from a show, and you're just gonna hear 80s Eurobeat the whole time, and you're gonna be like, "Is this man on crack?" And I'm just gonna be like, "Maybe."
dude, no joke. Like if like anybody who's riding in my car, like legit, I'll go from the Black Dahlia murder to Enya in a second. Like I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit what you think.
We Are Lost mentioned Posty Summer. Post Malone did put out a record like this week, I think. Last week?
We love Posty.
Yeah, Posty's pretty cool. He was out there talking to this really sick band from Minnesota. I gotta give them a shout out. Their name's Rot. They came down to the Brandon, Tampa area, and we hung out with them for a bit, and they were really cool. They put on a great show with the boys in Downswing, and they were talking about Post Malone. So Mike from Murkov is really on that shit right now.
That was fucking. They were wonderful, that show. They absolutely killed it. I think Chris dropped them in the Discord. I'll drop their album again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, straight up heater band. Wonderful lives. Super nice fucking dudes.
Yeah, they were
Like,
incredibly
absolutely
nice.
stellar.
They were kind of like your traditional hardcore metalcore, and then all of a sudden they would pull out the classic like Homesick era A Day to Remember breakdowns, and it was so awesome. There was a part that I remember from their set. It was in the noise box, so everything was a little echoey. Excuse me. But I heard the snare roll following like the breakdown pattern, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Just like a classic 2008 breakdown, and it did. And it was really fucking cool. Those guys are sick. Check out Rot. There's a few bands named Rot, but yeah, they're from Minnesota.
If you want to find them, look up Rot All for One. That'll pull up their album. I think it's from like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They are releasing a new album this year, though. They dropped a single. The name escapes me right now, but if you look up Rot All for One on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, it'll pull it up.
Their single was called Government Issued Noose.
That's what it was, yes.
That's us. That's the world we live in right now.
So they were awesome. That's a summer band for me right now. I'm listening to Rot a lot. And you should also listen to Rot. Listen to Rot, listen to Downswing, listen to Murkov. Listen to Murkov right now. But so there's one thing that's kind of going around on the internet right now, on Facebook, wherever the community is at. This Kentucky Irate Festival thing. I know we talked about this with Gabe from Infurious, but the lineup is kind of closing in. It's almost like all confirmed. Have you guys been seeing it?
Yeah, I think there's like there's like two headliners they haven't announced yet, and if I could take the PTO, one of my buddies is coming down in the fall, so like I've kind of been here or there, but like I think that fests are a very hard thing to pull off, especially at the scale that Kentucky Irate is doing. And I've mentioned this, I don't know if I mentioned it on the cast before, but I've mentioned it to you guys in our chat, and probably a couple other people for sure. I feel like if Kentucky Irate and that Blue Ridge Rock Fest is in its second year as well, logistics of Fest are always tough, but I feel like if Irate can really pull it off well, maybe minus like the usual, there's always parking issues and stuff like that, they could really bring in that new era for good core fests, because if you look over at like Europe, I mean, you see Hellfest, you see Download, you see whatever. I see random fests in like France that are 3 days deep, and I've only heard of like 5 bands, but they're all black death metal, hardcore, all kinds of stuff. We could really see that movement here in the U.S., which has been lacking for the last decade now, since Ozfest and Mayhem died.
Well, you see that they're making like daily posts, Kentucky Irate Fest. They're like, oh, we just got Rose Funeral on the show. We have Traders, which is from our area. We got Oceano. And you're kind of thinking, I don't know who this promoter is. They came out of the blue, and this could almost be too good to be true, but they got sponsors lining up. They have State of the Scene podcast coming out. They just got like a coffee group that's in the area that's catering to all the bands and everything. It's like it's shaping up. They have a really good crew behind them. So
They've got our main Orlando boy, Hardcore Keem, hosting it. I love that man. I've known
Speaking of
him
which, also, I don't know if you guys talked about it on the Infurious podcast, but like big shout out to our boys in Gloom who are going to be traveling there to play as well.
yes,
They've got all the good Florida bands on there. I think the only band that I fuck with that isn't on the lineup is Body Snatcher. They've got
I thought they would be on it.
yeah, honestly, I mean they've got In Gloom, which are the dogs. I love every single member of that band. They've got Tactosa just got announced. They've got Pieced Up. They've got all the like really dominant heavy Florida bands on there right now, and it's just like everyone's on Friday, and I'm like, let's go.
It's crazy to think that the boys back home right now are making an imprint all the way up to Kentucky. My boy Mike from In Gloom and Murkov that I've known since I was 15 and 16. He's making a move with Kentucky up there. And
I remember back in like 2014 when we were all telling Mike, dude, you need to be in a band for like 6 years, and then he went into Murkov and then now In Gloom as well, and we're all just like, fucking finally, look at this man go.
now
We
he's in a
love him.
fucking band. He is the band. Jeffy Metal brought up When We Were Young Fest. Dude, I don't even remember that at this point.
Yeah, is that? I mean, I know that's still a thing, but is anybody paying attention to that at this point?
I don't think
Isn't
so.
it in like September or something?
It's
Because I remember
October.
when they announced it, everyone was like, hey, this is really cool. And then they did like, what, 3 weekends in a row, and we're like, oh, okay, we see what's going on.
Yeah,
They
it
they
didn't get.
extended the run, and there's a gap between some of the dates.
It got promoted for like a good month, and now it's disappeared. And honestly,
well, it got a lot of bad like press too, because people started thinking about it, and they were like, all right, the logistics of this don't actually make sense. Like you're looking at like 10-minute sets basically. And then they were like, okay, we'll add some more days to it. And then it just kind of dropped off after that.
it did kind of seem like they were just like trying to recover from internet's like people trashing them on the internet. It's like, oh, okay, then we'll add another day. And then the internet was still like, what the fuck's going on? They're like, okay, how about a whole weekend? A whole week? And I haven't heard of it since.
We may not be hearing about it because, I mean, the tickets may be gone already for it. Like, this may be sold out already, so nobody's bothering to talk about it at this point.
But still,
It's basically at that point. It's at the point where it's kind of like that weird limbo between a fest. But I mean, you also look at, we look at the bands on there. From what I remember, it was like My Chem and like all the really big name bands. Maybe like a couple like odd and end reunions that were like very niche emo rock kind of stuff that I didn't even ever hear. I'm like, who the hell is this? Kind of stuff. But I feel like the draw is there, but I also feel like, okay, why aren't they still promoting it? But at the same time, it kind of does itself. Like, I mean, I know kids who are going to fly across the country for My Chemical Romance, and it's like my brother in Christ, they're going to end up touring again. Like,
yeah, they're
Yeah,
going on
and-
tour soon.
yo.
Poggy just said in the chat that MCR is going to drop from the fest, which has been kind of.
Watch that happen.
There's been talk of that, I think, since it was announced that they'd be on it. I mean, honestly, it may happen, it may not. They have been playing shows again.
It's kind of expected, I guess, which is a bad imprint to make on the fans.
Right.
Well, actually, Rooster told me this really cool thing that's made me respect My Chemical Romance a little bit more. So, the whole, what is it? Danger Days, I think it was. I might butcher this. Danger Days is a concept album that takes place in the year 2021 or 2020. 2019, maybe. And My Chemical Romance was supposed to return from their hiatus in that year, theatrically, and they were going to go on tour with the Smashing Pumpkins and everything. Like, there's a whole bunch of lore behind it, and I thought that was kind of cool.
That kind of makes sense because I think Gerard Way is actually kind of close with Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
In fact, he looks like a young Billy Corgan which is
yeah.
kind of interesting.
He has hair.
He really does. Jeffy just mentioned too, he's like, I'm hoping to bring me the horizon, play some CYB stuff. I feel like that band is just basically able to do whatever the fuck they want at this point, and I respect the hell out of it. Like, just watching the progression of that band from like 2008 to now, like you can see what was going on for years and years at a time. And I saw their set at Malta. I don't even know where the fuck that is. I think it's in the UK. I don't fucking know. And they literally everything they played was like 2013 and back, and I was like, "That's fucking fire!" Like you can drop a
For
pop
real.
album
So
and then go back and just play riffs. All right, let's go.
I think Chris, you pointed out that on their most recent tour, they were actually playing some Count Your Blessing stuff.
Yeah. They were
Well,
playing Medusa
personally-
and like a lot like Vegas and everything. It was wild.
It'd be cool to hear. Personally, I'd be a lot more excited to hear stuff off of like Suicide Season.
My one
They were
guilty
they were
thing-
playing with Sleep with One Eye Open too. They
Yep.
were playing everything that you would the B tracks
And I mean-
from all
I
their
mean, we-
records.
When we saw them on the There Is a Heaven, There Is a Hell tour, and they were
Mhm.
still playing stuff from Suicide Season at that point, so that was really cool. And I mean, even when I caught them on the Sempiternal tour, they threw in like a song or two, but it would be nice to see them go back to like some of the stuff off that album. I would love to see the Come Down live. That's like one of
Yeah.
my absolute favorite songs.
Yes.
It's like I feel like they're doing this on purpose because they are like doing industry plug collabs with TikTok artists, and like, all right, let's go on tour with Knocked Loose and like these 3 fucking industrial goth artists, and then we're
Dude,
gonna
I don't know. Did I send you some of one of that band's music? It was very fucking weird.
yeah. I looked it up and it was like they have like 500 monthly listeners and shit. And like, where do they find these guys? But they're pulling out Liquor and Love Lost. They're pulling out Sleep with One Eye Open. I used to make out with Medusa. It's like all
Yeah.
2013 and before.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
if you're touring with Knocked Loose, you got to play heavier shit, I guess.
But it's in the
I feel
arenas.
like I'm kind of gonna get the flack for this because I'm a fucking weeb, but I would kill to see that band tour with Baby Metal
Oh,
just so I
yeah.
could see Kingslayer live because I didn't care about Bring Me the Horizon for like 6 years. And then I was like, oh, they dropped TV, that's cool. And then my buddy's like, hey, you should check out Kingslayer. And I was just like doing the fucking Carmella dance and dance to that motherfucker. I was like, this is fucking good. Like, that, I would die for that song to be played live in front of me. I would actually go to a festival
Yeah.
for that song to be played. Like,
Honestly, I'm still a little sad that we missed. They were here not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago with like Poppy, and that would have been a really cool show to hit too.
Poppy's
Yeah.
fire. She's
Poppy is
really
fire.
an interesting artist to watch happen.
She, what was her first record with Sumerian Records was like one of my tops of like 2019. I forgot what it was. I disagree. Was a really good album, and then she put out an EP, and she started mixing in like dream pop and like post rock sounding stuff, and I was like, Poppy is the only artist we need right now.
That's what we were talking about this on another podcast. She's like the only artist in the mainstream, I think, I guess if you want to call it that, that has done like she's done metal, she's done like the shoegaze and the dream pop and even like poppy shit. Like
Yeah, and like, well, Poppy was like, I think, renowned for her really strange, what's the way to even call it, like really quirky beat boop sounding music. Like it was
yeah,
really weird.
Like,
P-O-P-P-Y, I'm Poppy.
Yeah. And then
So
put
I
out a
feel
metal
like Poppy's
record.
one of the few people that's benefited from Sumerian in the past couple of years. I was kind of in a thread the other day talking about that band Sean. I don't really listen to them that often. They're just kind of like, oh, cool, they're progressive instrumental stuff. I've heard it however many times now, but I was in a thread kind of people talking about them, and Sumerian used to be like the Titan back in like that 2010, 2013
Oh, yeah.
era where like Crabcore was alive and well. That like classic, really super angsty bullshit metalcore, like Capture the Crown, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And from what I remember in the thread, I mean, people were like, yeah, Chon has a whole album released, but they were like, yeah, fuck you guys. We don't want to release it, but we're under contract for Sumerian for it, but they put us in so much debt that we're not going to do it anymore. And Chon's basically gone now. They basically admitted, they're like, yeah, we're done.
You. That's
Okay.
kind of juicy.
That is kind of juicy, but also I just remembered that Sumerian did a Florence and the Machine tribute album where they had
Yes.
all those metalcore bands doing covers of their songs, and that was kind of sick.
Yeah, the Stick to Your Guns cover of Dog Days Rover was like a jam for
Born of
a
Osiris
long
did
time.
Seven Devils, and Born of Osiris
Yeah.
was really good with their fucking synth and shit, and so the cover was really
Right.
good. But
What
Sumerian
an
Records,
odd thing to see. They were like, "Hey, let's pick this one band and just do a bunch of covers."
Sumerian Records really was like the heavy hitters of the era of like Fearless Records, Rise, Epitaph. I think Sumerian had like Veil of Maya, Born of Osiris. What else? They had fucking Upon a Burning Body back in like the heyday. They
Back
had
when
a
Upon
really
a Burning Body was fucking good for all of one album.
yeah Texas
Yo,
Metal
Jeffy-
Weather.
They did
Jeffy
that whole
said,
Danny Will thing. Now they're fucking cringe and they're terrible.
Jeffy said, "Bring back Punk Goes Pop," and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Punk Goes Pump. Wow. Punk Goes Pop.
Punk Goes
That
Punk, baby.
Punk Goes Punk album that the Devil Wears Prada can't fucking escape is still goated.
That's
That
sad.
shit's still funny to me. I love it. That album is great, but I cannot believe the fact that they can't escape that the entire crowd will yell "Still Fly" until they play it live, and it's the
And
funniest
it
shit.
for a while it was
Yeah.
like their biggest
I'm
song
over
on
here
Spotify.
asking for like shit off like the Zombie EP, and everybody's
Yeah.
just like, "Fucking no, play that one song."
Speaking of
That
oh,
Zombie
oh,
2 tour is going to be
Oh,
like fire.
yeah.
oh,
Yes.
speaking of, it was almost like a bucket list to see them play Outnumbered at Warped 2014. Summertime baby, Warped 2014, where I
That
was
was-
getting fucking trench foot and it was raining so hard and it was awful.
That was a solid fucking set list. They played shit off of 818.
Yeah, 818
They
just come
played-
out.
Yeah, 818 had just come out. They even played some of their older shit. They played stuff off the Zombie EP. That was a really fucking solid set. And yeah, it was raining, and there were literally people slinging mud at each other in the fucking
Were you
crowd.
Where were you guys? Were you guys at 2014 St. Peter or
Yeah,
Orlando?
yeah, 2014
Pete.
and St. Pete. It was
The
Yeah,
one and
that
only,
was
the one and
the
only
first-
Warped Tour I went to.
Yep, that
11
was the
a.m.
first one I went to, and that was, I mean, that lineup was phenomenal. I mean, I was going nuts all fucking day. My favorite memory for that was one of the last Warped Tours the Ghost Inside played.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, they were these three guys, and I wish them all the best. Like every time I think about this, they were just throwing crowd surfers the whole day. These three big ass gym bros. I mean, they probably threw 150 people during the Ghost Inside set alone. They were just like, yep, come over here, up you go. And I saw them, like, I was going the whole set to the point where I think it was during, like, right before they played Dark Horse. I was coming up, it was the end of Chrono, and I get dumped over to security, and Jonathan Mitchell just looks down at me dead in the eyes, and I'm just like, and he just goes, hey, this kid's been up here like fucking 30 times, what the fuck is up, St. Pete? And then everyone started fucking flying, and I was like, this is fun. This is good.
2014 was kind of like it was like super iconic looking back. So we got in at like 11 a.m. and the Devil Wears Prada was playing. They had just played, their set was like shoot. They played Sailor's Prayer, they played First Sight off of 818, they played Escape from the Zombie EP, they played Big Wiggly Style off With Roots, they played Hey John, the iconic.
Yep. Yeah, I
think
was gonna say we got Hey John. That was super
We got like
fucking
the
cool.
best iconic set list. We finished that. We're walking off to the next stage. We hear like the Ghost Inside in the distance. We walk by. We stay for the main. The main's playing a couple tracks. Back when I wasn't a huge fan, but I was still getting into them. So we stop by the Warhead stage. The main is playing. We head off somewhere else. I can hear Chelsea Grin playing Krukabanger. And then we go see Volumes. We see Volumes play Wormholes right in front of the PA. It was so loud. And then we close the night with Chunk, No Captain Chunk, and like their first time in America.
That was such a fun fucking set, dude.
Dude,
that
you
was,
were there. That's amazing.
Also,
no, that
not-
wasn't actually their first. That was one of their earlier sets, but I remember seeing them one of the first. It was after they released Pardon My French.
Yes.
And that was back. This was late 2012, early 2013. It was actually the first, like, I guess, core show that I had ever went to in high school, because I grew up down here in Naples, besides, like, the one time I randomly walked into a King Conqueror show at a family fun park. That shit was fucking fun. And it was what was me headlining? Our last night, Chunk No Captain Chunk. Holy shit, the band escapes me right now. Capture the Crown and a band called Secrets.
Yep, I remember Secrets.
And I remember who the fuck was it? I wasn't. Who's the drummer from Chunk?
I don't know. I don't know any of
I
them. I know
can't remember
Bert.
his name.
I know the
Bastian.
vocals. Yeah.
Bastian, or
I only know vocalists.
I'm sure the pronouncement.
Fucking groupie.
I remember him hitting on my friend's mom, and that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Dude, it's literally like, did I just hit on a teenager?
Dude, I remember. So we saw Chunk, and Turner was with us too at the time. And then we were walking out of Warped. It was like the last set of the day. I could still hear the story so far going on the other side of the fest. But we got to see the Word Alive. We got to see Born of Osiris. We met the Word Alive. We saw Born of Osiris. We saw Ice Nine Kills back when they were super small and they were talking mad shit about sleeping with sirens in between sets. It was awesome.
That was a fun time before Ice Nine Kills just kind of overdid it with everything.
Yeah, they really fucking overdid it. We saw Mayday Parade, which is just cool to say back in like the heyday, and then Motionless in White played right next to their stage. It was such a good set.
That was what I remember. I remember just overhearing Motionless in White and like the fucking stage next to it.
Literally right. And we were waiting for Mayday Parade.
Yeah, and that was like we were already past like Creatures, like that whole era. So it was like, okay, like, can this be over?
Blake is on that shit. He's on the Infamous.
That was such a good Warped Tour. That was the first time I ever got one of the two times I've gotten knocked out during a set. It was just after 100th, and I'd actually like probably a month prior I'd gotten the 100th logo tattooed on my chest. That was my first tattoo. One of my first hardcore bands I ever fell in love with, and they were cool as fuck. I met them back in like that Warped Tour. They called the whole boys over. I was talking to them. They're like, "Yo, you gotta check this kid out. Come over here." And it was after that. I think it was Fit for a King. They played at like 1 fucking p.m. because that's Warped Tour for you.
Yeah. And
like I'm having a good old time. They played the Resistance, and I will never forget just taking a fucking foot right to the side of my face, and I just went, "It's sleep time!" And I hit the fucking ground with the force of 1,000 suns, and I was out for like 2 songs. I woke up in the med tent, like, where the fuck am I?
That's the Warped Tour experience. It's breakdowns for breakfast, baby.
Yeah, honestly, it was fun. That was my favorite. That and Warp 2016 in Orlando.
I was at me, Darrow, Turner, and Cody Parsons were all at Warp 2016 as well. I think we may have crossed paths, perhaps. I think we've already met at that point.
We already met because we were working on old If Tomorrow and old Spoiler Sports stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
It was funny because back then I wore glasses because I didn't have my eye surgery yet. And I don't know what had happened at that point. I don't remember what Parker Cannon looked like. But people for about half that day thought I was Parker Cannon just walking around. I think Chris Link
just had his arms behind his back the entire time.
Chris Link from Cool Hand had sold me like a laminate and a couple other things. So I had like
Tour laminate on. Like he's in a band.
The kids didn't look at it properly, so I had kids coming up to me like half the day, like, "Hey, we fucking love your band." And I was admittedly higher than a kite back when I used to smoke. And I was like, "Hey, thanks!" And there's about 20, 25 kids out there who think they have pictures with Parker Cannon, but it's me. And it's the funniest fucking shit to me. I laugh about that to this day. It is.
Like, should have just hit him with like, "What's your favorite album?"
And I'm kind of like, I'm like there in the pictures, and then people are like, "That's not Parker Cannon." They're convinced that
Who is that?
Somebody posted that on Facebook, and their friends were like, "That's not fucking Parker Cannon, bro."
Who's that? That's not. You should have been charging.
Too late. I was gone. I was already in the Kubla concept. Like, see you guys.
You could have been charging money for this shit. You could have been making some money. But that was a fucking Warped Tour, dude. But
Warped and Mayhem were like the shit.
Dude, I saw Job for a Cowboy at Mayhem like 2011. That was like the last set they ever played, I feel like. The last tour they ever did. I saw them, Amir. Even I saw Children of Bodom too.
I love Children of Bodom. That band was one of the things I got into when I was super young, but I'll never forget because it was back. I think it was May in 2012 because it was the Disturbed Trivium Megadeth and I think In Flames headliner. I'll never forget. This is one of the. I didn't know it was cool at the time. I will be 100% honest with you because I didn't start listening to the band until like 24, until like probably 2013, 2014. Uh, I was out kind of in the back. My parents had brought me to the show. Uh, and it was All Shall Perish was playing, and the two stages lined up side by side, and I was watching them with these two guys. I think they were in their like early 20s. I was kind of shooting the shit with them, waiting for Unearth, and then Unearth started playing, which is one of my favorite old school metalcore bands. And this dude comes up to us, and we're shooting the shit, and I didn't really realize how much these guys are fanboying. And I'm talking to this dude, he's super nice, like, oh, who you guys here to see? I'm hoping you're having a great time. I'm fucking having the time of my life, da 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 da. Super nice dude. And so we're sitting there talking for like 25 minutes during the whole Unearth set. And he goes, hey, I'll catch you guys later. And I watch this man run from where we're standing, like probably 30, 40 yards from the stage, run up on stage, jump the barricade, and it was fucking Mitch Lucker from Suicide Silence. And I'm just kind of like, it's cool.
No
and
way.
then like 2 years later, after his untimely death, I was like, wait a second.
That's
It was
crazy.
Yeah, it was fucking wild, man. Because people were just walking around, and I was like, "Oh, these guys are cool." I'm like, "Oh, they're in a fucking band." Wild.
Wild.
Fucking 17-year-old me had no understanding, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I'm learning, and I get in all these bands years later. I'm like, "Motherfucker!"
That was fucking Mitch Lucker, baby. Poppy Bingus said, y'all remember Chiodos? Do I remember Chiodos?
We love Chiodos.
Fucking Craig Owens was just here with drugs. Like the band,
Wait,
not paraphernalia and
with
drugs.
yeah,
and,
with drugs
and narcotics and stuff. No, like the,
and isn't what's his name, Jonah Weinhofen, or
Yes.
however you say his name? He's part of drugs now.
from I Killed a Prom Queen and Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring Me the Horizon, yeah. The golden era, Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, There's a Hell more like, but yeah, they were just here with The Word Alive and Scary Kids Scaring Kids or something. And
I
we
wish
missed that
the
show
new
already.
Kids Scaring Kids album didn't fucking suck.
well, they don't
That
have
was
their vocalist
horrible.
anymore, do they? He passed
Yeah,
away.
I wish they would have let that project stay dead. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna
respect
be a
it.
judgy little bitch, but like the albums that Tyson wrote were flawless. If they had said, "Hey, we're gonna come back, play this album for you guys," call it dead, I'm like, all right, cool. I would love to see it. I missed that City Sleeps in Flames tour because that was the first time I had COVID, and I'm still mad about it.
Oh yeah.
And then like, hey, we're gonna drop a new album, and it fucking sucked. There was like a bunch of weird features, which I'm always for. It's cool. I love seeing like cross genres features. But it was just fucking bad, dude. It was fucking bad. I'm like, guys, you got your fucking old vocalist rolling in his fucking grave right now. This is
Yeah,
horrible.
it is kind of a strange situation when bands continue without their vocalist. I feel like Suicide Silence like went off okay, having Eddie from All Shall Perish, but
I feel like that first album back was that like fucking whatever they're self-titled,
yeah,
where they tried to go like weird new metal was fucking atrocious. But whatever they released, like The Hunter or something like that, was actually pretty good. I don't listen to it super often, but it was actually really good.
it didn't feel.
Honestly, it depends who it is. So here, I've got an exercise for you. Let's all name a band that replaced a vocalist and it worked.
Dance
From
Gavin
first
Dance
to
with Kurt
last.
Travis.
Yes. We love Kurt Travis.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna.
Ooh, we should.
This is all right. I'm coming in with a super hot take here because the original singer is obviously a legend. I'm gonna say Alice in Chains, the singer that replaced Lane Staley. Not better, but it worked.
It worked. It did.
I can
thought,
agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, he was
He
pretty
really
good.
held the
Black Gives
style
Way to-
well. He didn't do anything to innovate, but he really held it down very well, especially live.
Yeah, like Black Gives Way to Blue is like a legit, like a solid album.
Yeah, he doesn't sound worse. He doesn't sound better. He sounds similar, but it's not bad. And then okay, here's another.
He nails the harmonies with what's his name, the guitarist.
Fuck, what's his
Jerry
name?
Cantrell.
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell.
Yeah, so like the way that like Jerry Cantrell and like Lane Staley would harmonize, he gets that down pretty well, and I think that's what is important.
Queen is another great example, Jeffy. Good point. It's not even like it's Queen now. It's more so Adam Lambert and Queen, which I like that they do. It's not necessarily he has replaced Freddie, but he is his own entity along with Queen. And I think that works really well. If tomorrow we are not bringing up if tomorrow in the chat. Real friends I am still not on board with. The cover they do of Tonight is fantastic, but I'm still not completely on board with the new vocalist. He sounds way too different from Dan for me. Dan had that really whiny fucking deep but whiny voice, which was so unique about it. And the new vocalist sounds like every other pop punk vocalist. So I'm still warming up to it.
I will never be on board with Skiba and Blink 182.
I can agree with that. I love Matt Skiba to death, but I agree.
We stan fucking Tom DeLonge here.
Yep.
Like, I love Skiba, and Alkaline Trio's got some really fucking good songs, but Blink is not Blink without Tom DeLonge. Let's bring it back.
Infant Annihilator.
Yeah, I can agree with that fact for sure. I've seen like live videos. Again, never been super into Blink 182, but like I love Matt Skiba. I love Alkaline Trio. I love his early work that he did. But like it's just kind of like Tom DeLonge had a very certain energy from like the videos, and the one time I saw Blink live, Tom had a very like weird vibe to him in a good way. That
He's
like
entertaining.
The entertaining charm. Yeah.
We saw Angels and Airwaves live last year, and the man is he's fucking entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he's
like he could talk the entire show and he would carry the show.
Yeah. It's if I could see that with him with Mark and Travis, it would have been like the golden trio, but that's not how it is anymore. And him with Angels and Airwaves, he still had it.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't listened to them a lot. I feel like I've heard a few songs. Yeah, I feel like I've heard a couple songs by them, but I mean, even now, he's still kicking it, doing it real good. I feel like
it's good if you ever want to listen to shit that's like not sad and is gonna make you feel happy, like and make you feel good. Like that's a good band to go with.
Yeah, just good vibes.
Bingus just said AC/DC, and all I'm gonna say is shut the fuck up, Boomer.
Okay, that's a solid take though. That is a solid take. They replaced their original singer. And honestly, it worked. It worked really well. You can't tell.
It all sounds the fucking same.
It all sounds the same, yeah.
You just can't tell.
But no, it worked out really well for them, I think. And, like, I mean, they got really big, obviously. And I think that's a solid example for sure.
I feel like the one vocalist you couldn't replace... Granted, you could replace him sound-wise, but if Brendan ever left Counterparts, that band would never be the same because that man is my favorite fucking person on this goddamn planet, vocal-wise. That man has such an energy you cannot replace. Like, if you go and look at their fucking Spotify right now for their new single, the tag on it says, "Listen, you fucking dumbass." That's Brendan. That man's a menace. People at So Wet Fest were like, oh... the vocalist was so mean. He was being an asshole the whole time. And I'm just like, that man's just having fun, bro. You're just soft.
Like, I feel like if a lot of these bands lost their vocalists, a good majority of them would just not continue.
I can agree with that. I feel like, I don't want to say like the vocalist is the most important member of the band because it absolutely isn't. You have to have a very good cohesive unit. But I feel like you can get away with replacing a vocalist if that new one really brings that kind of energy. But if they don't, or it's just way too far off, you're really going to have to change up what you're doing. And then that brings a change in sound that's going to be like, I'm not a fan, you know?
Which does happen all the time. I've lost a lot of bands because the new vocalist just changes the entire sound. Like, not for me.
So Blake brought up the lead singer of Counterparts, kind of like being like an asshole, but not really being an asshole to like their fans. I recently saw a video of who was it? The Who? We all know them. Fucking boomer band from the 60s and 70s. They're on tour. They're charging like probably $400 or $500 a ticket for their seats at their concerts. there was a video, and it was from their show in Tampa and Orlando, where one of the fans called out for like a song request, and the lead singer basically told him to shut the fuck up.
I love that.
I mean, it may just be me.
That's fucking hysterical.
It is. But also, if I paid $500 for a ticket and the lead singer told me to shut the fuck up, I'd probably never listen to that band again.
I'd be pretty fucking mad. That's all the money I have in my life savings.
The story has a happy ending though, because as soon as that happened, the guitarist, so the lead singer turned to the guitarist and he said, "What song do you want to play?" And the guitarist was like, "Let's play what that fucking man just said."
Yup.
And the lead singer got punked pretty hard on it. He was like, "You're really gonna make me do that after I just told this dude to shut the fuck up?" And he's like,
Ashton Kutcher came out and everything. And
yeah. They had like a whole thing set up behind the
camera
stage,
crew.
Yep.
He just said Lorna Shore. Now I'm gonna touch on this because I love the band for a while. I love that Lorna Shore is getting big now because I love Warner Most. I've met that man a bunch of different times back when he was in Awaken Providence. I love that man to death. He's one of the nicest fucking vocalists I've ever met. Super down to earth, wonderful dude. I love that Lorna Shore is getting big because of his whole like demon bullshit at the end of To the Hellfire.
Yeah.
That band is fucking ripped for like a decade now, and y'all fucking slept. I don't want to fucking hear it anymore.
It's crazy how they're actually going mainstream now.
I love that the whole mysticism of like Lorna Shore was like, we had a singer that sounded demonic, but then we replaced him with another singer that sounded even more demonic, and like that's the whole thing.
But then he pissed on women, and then we got another singer that's.
Wait, you didn't always cite as a singer?
The CJ McCreary thing is fucked because like I will say Immortal was a very good album. Like instrumentally, they did such a fucking amazing job on the album, and I will say CJ's vocals are great. CJ's a shitty person. I would gladly fucking beat his ass for free if I can say that on stream.
He said it on the podcast, folks. Summer Slam down.
He's calling him out.
I mean, the band's been good because we opened for them back in 2016.
Yes.
That show with Rings of Saturn.
I wanted to talk about Rings of Saturn today.
We're gonna bring them up in a second.
We'll close with that.
But Lorna was great. Like Tom Maleficium and it's escaping me, but the two albums that Tom did with the band were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, my favorite.
They were that very, at the time, that just kind of smaller underground style. They were still getting decent traction, but like I feel like Will's bringing that power to the band because I feel like, especially, I don't want to say like the new core kids, but I want to say like, kind of like the newer generation coming into core versus when we came in. Very much like, oh, crazy vocals, and they just kind of go batshit over the band, which is like, I guess a cool thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, this band's been good. And if you're listening to the new Lorna Shore, I'm not going to dog you for it. Like, hell yeah, Lorna's a fucking great band. But it's like, go back and listen to that other stuff because it's still fucking fire. But I feel like we're getting into the days now where it's like, you see, I even want to equate it, Knock Loose. I think Jeffy or somebody else brought him up in chat. Yeah, Jeffy brought up Knock Loose. And it's like, the band, I've had feelings on that band. I won't say more than that. I feel like they're okay. Instrumentally, they're wonderful. But it's like you see, I remember back in 2015 at the local 662, God fucking rest that venue. That was the best. It was Knocked Loose, Varials before they started sucking too, and Adalia. And there was 400 kids in that venue throwing bar stools and beating the brakes off each other. And now I see Knocked Loose and it's just a bunch of push pit kids, and I'm like, I sleep.
I do think that you're making an excellent point that Lorna Shore already hit their high point, in my own opinion, when they were technical deathcore with Tom Barber on vocals. And
I don't know a whole lot about Lorna, but I remember the first time I heard Godmaker, and like that breakdown's absolutely insane in that song.
That was their high point for me. Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I think it's great that they're like hitting a really good stride, but they're playing music that's not necessarily for me, and that's okay. But I'm not a big fan of the symphonic, epic 7-minute long deathcore songs, but it's working for them.
But it's like it really depends. Like again, Lorna Shore is doing I love Will, I love the whole band. And Tom Barber's in fucking Chelsea Grinno. That man's living his fucking life. That's a
Yeah.
fucking wild transition for him. But I feel like nowadays you get these core bands that are coming out and they're great, they're good, but you get this new age fandom that's just obsessing over the demon vocals. And we had that shit back in like 2013 or 2012 when the first Infinite Annihilator EP came out when Dickie was going crazy in the fucking studio.
Yeah.
Oh, because that was an internet band and still is. And it was like everyone went crazy over it, and now we're seeing that same resurgence. But I'm like,
It's done, been done.
if the band's good, the band's good. If the vocals are good, but the rest of it sucks, then what are you listening to? But maybe I'm just an asshole. So
I think you're just an asshole. I think we're all assholes here.
I am an asshole.
We're all
But
music
right.
elitists.
He's right. I am an asshole. But
now we need to circle back
I wanted to,
because we mentioned Rings of Saturn.
yes, I want to touch down on this, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. Jackass is on Paramount Plus. We need to go finish that.
We need to go finish it. Yeah.
So Rings of Saturn, everyone's favorite slot machine core, fucking astrophysicist, crazy deathcore band,
Alien probe core.
Alien Probe in My Butt core came out with a new full length today, but there's no vocalist on it. Lucas Band has finally driven away every member of the fucking band.
Is there really no vocals on it? I didn't even listen to it.
Instrumental album, and the last Rings of Saturn record, whatever the fuck it was called, was really good because it was written by the other guitarist who got no credit, and Lucas Mann drove the best member of the band away, and so that's gone. The vocalist is gone. There is no guitar on this record. It is all synth guitar solos, and it is all MIDI instruments. The velocity on the MIDI is so bad, it sounds so fake, but everyone in the YouTube comments is like, hey, this is really good. This is a good record. It's not. It's like...
That band can't play without 2 laptops. I have seen that band twice. Me and Chris loaded out of Orlando in the pouring fucking rain with our whole band. It was white wall outside. I'm pretty sure we ruined some of the equipment of the band at the time because we were like, let's get the fuck out of here.
I enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Rings of Saturn's set of the vocalist being shit-faced drunk, fucking up all the songs.
Oh, man. The shade is real here.
They don't know who we are.
Like, you know what? I will say, I understand bands need backtracks. You know, I understand we've used backtracks before in If Tomorrow and for samples, other stuff, 808s. You know, bands use backtracks. It's a given. You know, not everything you're going to see is going to be perfectly live. But if you can't hold your own set without that, like I get your drummer needing to play to a click, that's one thing. But like if what's coming out of the PA and the speakers in the venue stops and you can't hold your own set, what the fuck are you doing?
At
Because I've seen that happen
Clarinopsis.
twice, and both times were Rings of Saturn.
Yep. It's never good. It's never good, folks. But they dropped their full length self-titled record today. Listen to it if you really want to.
I'm curious. I have to listen to it now because now I need to know what we're talking about.
It's super underwhelming. I was not a fan. I have not been a fan of Rings of Saturn really ever. They're
the
fun.
best thing they ever did was that No Pity for a Coward cover that their guitarist did almost entirely by himself, and then Ian threw his vocals on top of it. And then
on Lukai Gnal, whatever the heck that album, their second album. But I just like the dog on Rings of Saturn, as I think everybody does. But I wanted to close tonight with that. I wanted to close the Sound Corner summer with us dogging on a record that came out this summer, like today actually. And I'd like to think that we improv episodes really well, like we just did.
this has been a fun time, and I will remind everyone we are dropping that show tomorrow, probably midday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Share the fuck out of it. It's gonna be such a fun time. Great fucking lineup.
It's gonna be awesome.
This has been a fun time, and yeah, like you said, this has been pretty much improv. Like we came up with this in like 20 minutes because we had to like last minute. But it's been a really great time hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, this has been so good. And I want to give you a little. I'll give you this. We do have another great guest coming on next week. Someone from the industry. So this is going to be really exciting to talk. They're not
I
in the
feel
band.
like no one's. We have some really cool stuff lined up that me and the boys have put together. I'm super proud of these two. Really kind of coming into their own. I kind of joined up on this, kind of guiding, kind of saying, "Hey, I've got some cool industry connections and stuff, but let me help you guys out. I'll kind of help you guys, put together some stuff." And in the past probably month, I mean, they've come together themselves, and I'm gonna fucking blow you guys up for a second here. And they've really come into their own, and they're like, "Hey, I reached out to XYZ. I've got this coming up, this coming up, this coming up," and I'm just like, my fucking dogs. But we really do. Uh, we've got some really cool cross genre stuff coming. Next week's gonna be super fun. Old homie of mine coming on. But I feel like August, people are gonna be like, "You have fucking who on?"
End of July,
And that's gonna be
August.
a fun time.
Also, I know I don't want to give away who it is because it's, I mean, not huge, but I mean, we've got a band coming on soon that I've been listening to for like literally years. And I mean, they may not be the biggest band on the face of the planet, but to be able to sit down and talk to a band that I've been listening to for like the last 4 or 5 years is literally like the dream. Like it's such a cool thing to do. And I'm hoping that like you guys all experience it and enjoy what we have coming out soon.
I really want to thank everyone that's been watching, listening. It's been such a privilege to have to have anyone listen. I don't remember the fucking links. Hold on. So if you want to join the Facebook group, check that out. We always post our updates there. If you want to join the Discord to fucking pal around with us, please do it. It's been a little quiet lately. We need you guys to step it up.
Oliver's been silent too. I've been fucking proponing Gen Chat with my bullshit. I'm like, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah, it's been quiet. We just it's just been the sound corner kind of up in there. But yeah, we're gonna have a really good couple months. It is Sound Corner season, baby. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts now. We're on Amazon Audible. Listen to us wherever you want. And if you already heard it first here, but the announcement for the Sound Corner's first show is tomorrow around noon on Facebook. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We'll see you next week. Y'all got anything else?
Thank you so much, everybody.
Not yet. Y'all probably see all of us see us all next week. We're gonna have some good fun with. I feel like a very up and coming force in the not band side of the industry. I feel like y'all are really gonna like who we got on. They've been really bringing a name for themselves with some fucking stellar releases. If you guys know, I think I know like one person knows who the fuck it is outside of chat, but I don't even know if they're here tonight. So I think y'all are gonna have some fun with it. He's absolutely chaotic. He's a fucking show to begin with in himself. So I think we're gonna have some fun next week.
Yeah. Until then, June 22nd, we'll see you guys there. Have an amazing night. Be good. Goodbye.
Bye.